situation escalated. The crowd of protesters became increasingly agitated, throwing objects and exhibiting violent behavior towards federal agents and deputy sheriffs. What is your message to people who are getting violent?
It's don't get violent. Those are not the people that are coming out to protest immigration. What we've seen, so let me tell you.
People doing?
Okay, so last night when I talked to the sheriff, he had told me the situation in Paramount was under control, that the people that were peacefully protest have left. The situation was now across the street into the Compton area, and this was the unruly folks, that Saturday night crowd, the people that were there to actually protest immigration.
They are being starved. They are thirsty, only given 1 cup of water per day, are denied bathroom privileges, are denied medical attention. People in ICE concentration camps are losing their lives. And don't even think about saying FAFO, fuck around and find out, to these people in ICE detention centers. It is a shame that members of the black community started the trend, and so many other people followed. This is an updated voting poll. Brown people voted for Kamala Harris more, but you fall for the colonizers' divisive tactics, the inaccurate voting polls, the initial propaganda. It is immature and immoral to be centering that type of behavior in response to a community that is being mass deported in prison and concentration camps and tossed out of the country to who knows where without any rights or contact to any lawyer or family. When we should be focused on solidarity, and this has to stop immediately, especially those of you who claim to be activists perpetuating this FAFOBS nonsense.
Shouts out to Aaliyah, because this is where it was on her page when I first saw this lady.
This shit is getting more and more hilarious by the day, by the month, by the year. I don't know if y'all remember this lady, Hispanic or indigenous or whatever she is today. But if you remember this lady a year ago, she was saying she was indigenous and Latino people was her cousins. This lady had so much shit to say about black people. She laughed about us being slaves. She laughed about all this shit. And she kept saying that this land belonged to indigenous people and Latinos. You can't send Latinos back because they are indigenous like she is. This is what this lady said a year ago. She said in 10, 20 years, this country is going to be predominantly Latino. And I commented and said, white people are never going to let y'all outnumber them in this country. Now she makes this video talking about solidarity with blacks. But you was just talking shit about us a year ago. She probably still, if you go on her page, she probably still got the videos up. Maybe she wasn't smart enough to delete the videos before she put this video up. But a year ago, I think it was like a year ago, this lady was dissing black Americans through all her videos. She had so much shit to say about us. Now she's hollering about solidarity, which cracks me up because immigrants say black Americans have no power in the United States, but they steady calling for solidarity with us. It don't make any sense. Dear Latinos and indigenous people, y'all need to stop making these videos about black Americans because this shit always backfire back on y'all. I'm talking about costs, it just keep happening. One thing about me, I keep receipts. I probably got some of this lady old videos. I got to check because I got a bunch of videos saved that I've been posting lately where this shit is backfiring on them. Everything they say backfire on them. Like the immigrants saying they wasn't black Americans and they this. Now they want to be black Americans now. But I keep receipts. This same lady, if she ain't deleted the videos, she got tons of videos talking shit about black Americans. Now she talking about some solidarity. Hey, man, this shit is just too funny, man. You can't make this shit up, man. The jokes are writing themselves, man. Oh, and another thing. I almost forgot. She was bragging about how much spending power Latinos had in this country. How Latinos come over here and do better than black Americans. The same thing the Caribbeans and Africans say. They all pretty much say the same thing. She was bragging about all this. Let me tell y'all something. Don't nobody know white people like black Americans, man. Clearly from these videos that these immigrants make, they really don't know these people, man. They don't. Some of them been over here 40, 50 years, and they don't know what the fuck they dealing with. But we know what we dealing with. We know what's going to happen next because we know these people. They don't. That's it.
Policies. Here it is.
If they let in hundreds or thousands of people who already have criminal records, if deporting them creates a mass deportation, I'm all for it.
But what if rounded up in all of that are people who work on a farm, they're doing the jobs that Americans don't want to do? Does that worry you?
That wouldn't be fair. Of course, you know, they need to make sure that they don't throw away, they don't kick out, they don't deport people that are family oriented.
Oh, okay. This is what the family told MSNBC.
Mario and Mireya both crossed the border illegally as teenagers, but became citizens under President Ronald Reagan's amnesty. They see themselves as different from migrants crossing the border today. In what way do you think they're different?
The people that are coming here are the criminals, you know? The ones that did something bad in their country, they're running away from their law.
Despite having close family members who are undocumented,
migrant invasion.
They don't believe they'll end up in Trump's crosshairs. When you hear Trump promise mass deportations, do you worry about them?
Yes and no, because the ones that I know, they're doing good.
To mind their business, and yet I go on the internet and see them all discussing how.
So I just want to throw out here that I do have one concern, actually a few concerns. So essentially the first concern is that there's this conversation going on that when non-Black people enlist the aid of Black people, there's a concern that there is an awareness that when it comes to law enforcement will target, arrest, and harm Black people or darker skinned people before the non-Black presenting and white people. So I think when a lot of people come on the internet and they say, you know, don't go out there, it's in the sense of we know about racism and colorism and how we are discriminated against because of our color. So there's a concern that a Black person is going to be the first arrested and the first targeted, even if they're peacefully protesting. And we already know that when Black people are peaceful, white people will make up lies about us and say we're doing things that we're not doing. So I think that's the first concern. And what I have seen when it comes to telling other Black people not to go out there, I just think that not everybody can articulate it in a manner to where it's palatable for everyone to consume. The other issue is that we are 100% aware that there are Black immigrants, and a lot of people feel that when they say Black immigrants, we know this, but a lot of the people that we've seen use the Black immigrant argument are either Black immigrants themselves or they're YT immigrants or non-Black presenting immigrants, and these YT immigrants or descendants of immigrants, whatever, you're not descendants of immigrants, but like second, third generation immigrants, because the issue is now affecting them now, but they didn't care when it was only affected or talking about the Haitians, that they're using that as a form of, or we feel it's a form of emotional manipulation on Black Americans. And the other thing is that this is an extremely important point. The concern for me is that I feel like when I hear a lot of these takes, that a lot of you guys think that we Black Americans aren't educated on how bad things can get. But for us Black Americans and what we've generationally had to deal with, I don't think anything could get worse for what we went through with Middle Passage, slavery, Jim Crow. So yes, we know the possibility of how many doors can be open on how bad it can get and how it can affect us. But the thing about it is, when we were going through Jim Crow, Middle Passage, and on top of that slavery, a lot of these immigrant groups weren't here and we were pretty much on our own. And I'm not saying that there weren't white abolitionists or a group here, a group there, but en masse, we were on our own. So I feel like the main sentiment is that whether these groups are here or not, a lot of us Black Americans know if stuff does get bad, we know what time it is, we know what to do because we've done it before. And it's not that we don't care or that we're not empathetic to the immigrant groups, but the problem is that, and this is me talking to my own people, Black Americans, who are generationally Black American, that a lot of immigrant groups come into predominantly Black communities and they don't build a bond and they don't build a relationship with Black American people. And if there is a relationship, it's not really a healthy one. And that's pretty much where we're at. It's kind of like I'll give an example, a father who doesn't see his kid, doesn't have a relationship with his child. And then all of a sudden, when that child becomes famous or successful, they try to come back into that child's life. Or when the father sees that that child has something that's beneficial to him, he tries to come back into the life. And that child is like, who are you? You know, because at the end of the day, that relationship and that bond wasn't built. And I think a lot of Latinos and Hispanic people think that there's some sort of relationship or bond there between Black Americans, because I hear the Latinos, even the African immigrants, saying something about us Black Americans as if there's some sort of bond there. But my Black American people who are generationally Black, from their experiences, and it's not just one person, it's not just two people, it's not just three. I'm literally talking to a whole bunch of different Black people online. And I've talked to people in person about their experiences, and that relationship, some of them do have good relationships with some people, but for the majority, that relationship is just not there. So when you are trying to enlist the aid of somebody who y'all never really had a good relationship, then it's, you know, it's just kind of difficult there. But essentially, you know, it's like, I feel like a lot of Black women that I see coming online talking about this, I don't think the Black community or the Black people that are telling other Black people to not go out there and protest are wrong. I just want other Black women and other Black people to understand the reasoning behind it. And if you so choose to go out there and be on the front lines, I just want you to keep in the back of your mind that there is a possibility that those people that you're on the front lines with are racist, don't like Black people, and they know that you would be more of a target as a Black person, and that they intentionally wanted you there so that they would not be a target. And that's something that I actually had to come to terms with, and that I actually had to think about. And so that's one of the reasons why we're warning other people. But either way, whatever happens to them, like I said, you know, we know what could potentially come down the pipeline as Black Americans. But at the same time, if that does come down to it, if it does get that bad, we know what to do. We've done it before. You know, we're not new to this. We're true to this. We know what we need to do. Now, when it comes to a lot of these, and I hate to take it there, because there's no way this next part is going to sound good at all. But the conversations that I have had is that a lot of these immigrant groups, instead of protesting and advocating for their rights in their home countries, they decided to come to this country. And so when stuff happens in this country, some of them are going back, and others, it just seems like they're not too sure on what to do or how to do it in this country. And that's one of the reasons why they feel it important to enlist the aid of Black Americans, because this is something that we have done before and that we have been successful at.
Now, please tell me these folks is lying when they say that the Black people are the ones out there looting and rioting in California. Please tell me they lying. Like, I saw myself that people were saying that it was Black people. I ain't seen not one Black person yet, and I've been watching the videos. Where we at? See, it's that damn microaggression again. It's that anti-Blackness again. That's what we were talking about. That's why we protested from the house. They did the same thing with Black Lives Matter. They said it was us, and it wasn't us. It was the others.
This speech is called The Compton Bookmark. It's a message to my people in the midst of chaos. My people, listen. I don't care how anti-establishment you think you are, how many Instagram posts you make with all cops are bastards, or how ready you are to burn it all down. I need you to hear me clearly. Black people do not need to participate in the Compton riots. Not out of fear, not out of love, not out of some imaginary black and brown coalition, because logic demands we sit this out. Let me say it plain. Latinos, as a group, do not like us. Yes, I said as a group. not as individuals. Not your best friend, not your abuelita, not your Mexican neighbor who lends you tools. I'm talking about collective behavior, historical patterns, and state-aligned street politics. Blanqueamiento is real. Anti-blackness is embedded in the cultural fabric. Look at the way black Mexicans are treated. Look at how even darker-skinned mestizos get shut out. Now ask yourself this. Why are black youth being hunted by Mexican gangs while the killers of their own kind are left untouched? Why do little 13-year-olds get lit up while grown black gangbangers walking down the block get left alone? That's not an accident. That's a coordinated field directive. Do not believe me? It's documented. So no, this is not about hate. I got love for my Mexican homies. I got love for humanity, but this is not about love. This is about strategy. We're not joining mobs without a mission. We are not throwing fists at cops while our kids can't read. We are not bleeding in the street while our women carry fibroids, PCOS, and generational trauma in their wombs. We are not marching side by side with people who still call us monkeys while the door closed. And this is not no soft-ass, mind your business, love and light lecture. This is a fucking strategic maneuver. The Mexican community has unity. Have you seen it? That unity is beautiful, but don't get it twisted. They will be just fine without us. And until they remember that before the conquistador came, we were the same exact people, there is no need to align ourselves with the group that sees us as expendable. Not in war, not in peace, not until the respect is mutual and the history is healed. That is how empires fall. When tribes link up in chaos with no hierarchy, no plan, no memory. Stop thinking like sheep. Stop looking for validation in other groups' fight. That is not solidarity, that is suicide. So let's be surgical. If riots happen, we do not join, we observe. We analyze patterns, we take notes, we identify weak points in so-and-so enforcement infrastructure. We find the data centers, the admin hubs, the flock cameras, and we figure out how to disable the system without getting baited into emotional suicide. I said what I said. It is not the time to riot in unity. It is the time to get a fucking gun, learn who prints the warrants, protect your community before another false alliance gets your brother gunned down. Let's talk George Floyd, because some of y'all still stuck on that. That was not a movement. That was not a black movement. That was a George Soros-funded, Democratic Party funneled, optics-heavy movement. I marched it. I saw it. I was there. I marched with white people, Latinos, and confused black people thinking yelling and holding signs would change an empire. Change shit. It really did not change shit. What it did do, though, was drain your energy, capture your faces, map your voices, and funnel your pain into an agenda that was not yours. No more of that. No more uncoordinated marches, no more false coalitions, no more being the unpaid emotional soldiers of someone else's rebellion. If we move as a unit, with hierarchy, with objectives, and with commands. Let this message be the bookmark in the book of consensus. Let this be the speech you replay when the news starts spinning and the streets start burning. You are not here to react. You are here to rebuild. And sometimes that means holding the line while everybody else plays checkers in the middle of a minefield. We are not lost. We are focused. We are not alone, but we are not confused. We are black, we are strategic, and we are done playing any emotional war games. Get a gun, get trained, sabotage the surveillance, shield your elders, raise your babies in knowledge, protect the field, and when the storm comes, don't run into it. Redirect it. This time, we move right. I'll show you. Thank you, and all power to the unseen army.
What if the idea of black and brown unity is just another lie we tell ourselves to feel safer in a system that was never built for us? Survival ain't the reason they don't side with us. It's preference. Think about it. In prisons, they don't roll with us. On the job sites, they don't hire us. In their homes, they don't want us dating their daughters. And in the courtroom, they often vote for policies against us. But my people want to cling to the few who march, like it erases the ones who mock. And before you say that's not all of them, ask one of your Mexican partners what mejora la raza means. It means to improve the race. But improve it how? By whitening it. By erasing blackness. Go on and sit with that for a minute. They dance to our music, they talk like us, they move into our neighborhoods, and we let them. Then they gatekeep jobs, culture, and even respect, and we let them. This ain't about racism, man. It's about rivalry, because nobody imitates what they pity. They imitate what they envy, and deep down they know what we got can't be copied. So maybe it ain't hate. Maybe it's hidden competition. Maybe it ain't ignorance. Maybe it's inherited bias. Or maybe blacks was never meant to look for allies. Just remember who we are. I love my people. I hope y'all safe out there, and I hope you get home safe. May y'all have a good day.
And just like I said, they're flipping the script, just like we knew was going to happen. See, there's a reason why we were telling y'all out at those protests to stop carrying the Mexican flag or whatever other flag y'all are carrying, and to instead carry a U.S. flag or an upside down U.S. flag. Because they see this and it's easy for them to flip the narrative and say, oh, look, America is under attack by foreigners. And just within an hour of me posting that video telling y'all that, there they are in the comments. Here they go making videos. Because this was exactly what they were going to do in the first place. Seeing flags march up and down in these protests that are anything that they deem non-American. They were always going to do this. This is exactly why we said y'all should be flying the U.S. flag, to bring home the point so that they cannot flip the narrative that this is an attack on American citizens. So that when those photographers are out there taking pictures, they will see exactly what is happening. And there is no wiggle room for misinterpretation and misinformation, so that they can see exactly what was happening at this day in history. Bring your Mexican flags, but the U.S. flag needs to be seen more than anything, because it needs to be driven home that this is an attack on American citizens. Plainly put. Period.
Say it again. Y'all can't blame us. We ain't out there robbing shit and looting and doing the crazy shit that y'all doing. So the lady on CNN that said that, oh, that's not the Latinos and shit like that, that's the black people that came out there. No, sweetheart, we at home. I'm at home enjoying the fruits of my labor. I feel like I'm more safer at home, because when we was going through what we was going through, y'all motherfuckers wasn't nowhere to be found. So why the fuck would I be out there helping y'all? I'm just keeping it 100. I'm just keeping it 100. Y'all got it. Y'all handling it. And I'm going to keep it a buck with you. Even if we were to help y'all, it's just going to get worse. Them motherfuckers is not playing with y'all. They is not playing with y'all. They shooting y'all with the fucking beanbag guns and shit, and that shit hurt. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm not out there, sweetie. We at home. Some of us got to work. Some of us got to take care of our kids. We got to handle our business. So, and I'm making sure I make this video respectful as possible, because TikTok is real sensitive, and they already took my other video down for harassment and bullying. So I'm not harassing or bullying nobody. We at home. You can't blame us.
You see, we had it right with George Floyd. Black, white, Hispanic, black, everybody in the country. They never seen white people kick other white people's ass and damn near kill other white people for black people. We won the racism war, and what they do? What they do next? The Epstein files. We got to keep them distracted. We're going to release the Epstein files. They're going to end racism. We're going to make quarters called the man killer. You see? Feminism ended everybody being united. And that's the Democrats' job. They all one gang. They made statues all across America of Medusa. Cardi B, they made her wear all this Medusa stuff to keep women focused on the feminism movement and attack us and get us off uniting against racism. Beyonce in the country music, she wear all Medusa signs. You get it? Now what they doing now? Pay very close attention. Did it. He the new Epstein. They're using him as a big distraction also. So that's basically, it's the same hand but a new book. And black people, we not off the hook. They still coming for us. They never stopped coming for us. Cash Patel, I'm in Memphis. He sent 1,000 FBI agents to Memphis. They gonna get them $10 billion to fight crime. Give $10 billion to the hood and rebuild it. They building a $1.4 billion jail for our kids. Come on, man.
See, I'm at work right now, but I had to go ahead and make this video because a lot of y'all got the game fucked up completely. Let me go ahead and say a few things about this LA riot shit and the Hispanics and the black. A lot of y'all are so fucking confused and ill in the brain, and it's fucking sad, literally. I need to just go ahead and start saying that y'all just don't like Mexicans. Just go ahead and say it, because y'all bitches beating around the bush and keep saying, oh, they didn't fight with us, and then they are doing this, and they're doing that. What the fuck is up with y'all on this tit-for-tat ass shit? Like, this shit is weird and corny as fuck. At the end of the day, I'm human and black immediately after that. Immediately after that. And I'm gonna always fight for black people first, but at the end of the motherfucking day, at the end, People that y'all feel so fucking strongly about, y'all saying, oh, they messing up neighborhoods and they're doing this and they're coming in and doing this and who's gonna do... You guys are fucking filled with hate and it's disgusting. You bitches need to get a fucking grip. A reality check needs to be put upon y'all bitches bad. I don't know why it's so hard for y'all to just stand up for what the fuck is right. If y'all feel like they didn't do something for y'all, why the fuck can't y'all just be fucking... Wait, this is the thing that's really getting me. Why the fuck do half of y'all bitches don't have no fucking integrity? The word of the motherfucking day is gonna be integrity. Where the fuck is you bitches' integrity at? Where's your humanity at? At the end of the fucking day, how the fuck are y'all mad at Hispanics coming here across borders? I understand it is a lot of it's a lot of Mexican families moving in at one time. I do understand what everybody's saying, but at the end of the day, it's a way to go about things on both sides, yes, but there's a way to go about things. Ooh, I'm getting riled up. Hold on. The story is y'all feeling like how Mexicans didn't come and fight the fight with us. When I was at the motherfucking protest in LA, I went to 3, and I'll show y'all the videos if y'all need it. So my thing is, plenty of the motherfucking people that was out there were fucking Mexican. There was a lot of Mexicans out there, white people, fucking Asian. It was a lot of people out there. You bitches are so fucking corny because at the end of the motherfucking day, none of y'all bitches that's on the internet went to no fucking protest. A black protest, an Asian protest, an Indian protest. None of y'all bitches were at any motherfucking protest. But y'all feel so strongly about this one because you bitches are racist. Just go ahead and fucking admit it. Lame ass motherfuckers. And I'm going back in to clock out. Bye, bitch.
Why are black people saying this is not our fight making you upset? I've seen video after video from Latino creators or Latino people coming online pleading to black people to put our bodies at the forefront of this fight against illegal ICE raids, against deportation, against roundups, against undocumented people being rounded up and families being disjointed. But there's several reasons as to why you should not be shocked that black people are sitting this one out. You guys all remember that this is a subset of your community last year. You're also aware that across the board, overwhelmingly black people voted in favor of the candidate that had black interests, Latino interests, Asian interests at heart. Where if you look at the sentiments of what that vote represents, half of your community voted for this. Half of your community said F you to black people. Half of your community said, we don't care about you. Half of your community said you wanted to be white aligning and white adjacent. And now you're being reminded of the fact that you're not. We have to have the ability to hold multiple truths when we speak to each other as communities. The truth is that Latinos are not in a monolith. It's just an all-encompassing umbrella that they put you under. And that, yes, the majority of the people that voted for Donald Trump and were doing that were Cuban and were other people in different parts of the country, and undocumented people in Mexico, in California are being impacted by that. That is true. But what's also true is that there is a history of black people fighting and being at the forefront of civil rights in this country since the inception of civil rights in this country. And it's always been pushback and non-solidarity from multiple communities who are voting and always going against black people. So this particular time when black women especially really came out in droves and really fought forward with our votes, and you guys didn't do it, your community didn't do it. It's like, why would I fight now? Why would I fight now? So I just need you, like, if you're gonna come online and make pleas and ploys to black people, because I've seen so many videos, start by acknowledging the fact that your community has colorism, anti-blackness, and voted against your own best self-interest. Start with that. Don't come in here and ask black people just to put our bodies at the forefront of the line, because we've been doing that for a century. Secondly, I think the majority of black people who are saying that they're sitting this one out are using their voice in other ways or having solidarity with you in other ways, but they're not going to protest. They're not going to go get hit by rubber bullets. They're not going to put themselves in harm's way or make that effort again, because you guys, it's time for you to fight for yourself. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense for you. Now, there's also a bunch of black people online who are asking black people to come out and fight for everyone, and everyone needs to fight, and this is our fight as well. While I do agree with a lot of those sentiments, because If they're doing it to brown citizens, they can do it to black citizens, and they can use the Congo and Haiti as an excuse to just racially profile all of us. That's very true. But you have to stop telling black people to put themselves on the line when black people are exhausted. Black people are exhausted. Black people have done so much for all communities in this country. At a certain point, there has to be a time where they need to rest. And right now, a bunch of people are resting, and that's fine. But there will always be people in our community who fight. Like, I'm using my voice every fucking day on this app. I've made an update about every single thing going on with ICE raids, locations, where they are, what's happening with Trump. I do it every day on my social page, and it's exhausting. Like, I'm actually exhausted. Today I put up like 10 posts. I'm exhausted, but I'm doing it because I know my voice has reach, and I know that people need to hear it. And that's my personal choice. I'm not doing it because I feel obligated. So stop trying to make people feel obligated to put themselves on the line again. I say that to say it's a lot of fucked up shit happening in this country. I know that people and families, I was in tears last night seeing people self-deport themselves and people getting rounded up, grandfathers and grandmothers and abuelitas getting taken away, who are the people who are the fabric of this city in LA. But I just know that it doesn't end here, and there are black people on that list. There are black countries on that list. There are black countries on that list, and I'll say that to you again. There are black countries on that list.
Americans and Mexicans in Los Angeles, I'll extend that to Southern California, is not a good history. Mexicans went on an erasure campaign, erasing black people out of their communities for years. Now I can get deeper in detail. There's history out there. Check this video out.
In other words, he's a minority like me, so I can't speak up against him. If this was white folks committing these lynchings to us in South Central, what's going on? There would be an outrage in this country. We have had firebombs thrown through windows. We have had people's cars burned in the driveway because they happened to move into the wrong communities. We had a lady who moved to East LA, came to the state from the South, not knowing what East LA was. It was an all-Hispanic community. She wasn't there one day. We had another man who was burned out of his house in Torrance last year. We had 5 murders in Hawaiian Gardens just because the people were black. This would not be tolerated if this was white on black crime. But the fact that these people come here, and it's the numbers, sir. It's the numbers. They come here in the numbers. They build up the Hispanic community, and they get this sense of power against us. And there are race riots in the schools every day in Los Angeles. It never makes the media. The black kids are being run out of the schools every day and told to go back to Africa. It never makes the media. We are having people who are being discriminated against on every avenue of society.
Okay, broken record, good song. It's not about the money, it's about sending a message. In regards to the protests happening in LA and the protests that will inevitably follow in other cities and states in the weeks and months to come, there's a really good film study called A Pervert's Guide to Ideology that I highly recommend you watch. It's on YouTube, it's free. And it makes a lot of interesting claims, but one of the most interesting claims to me was that ideologies don't tell you like what to dream about necessarily. They just tell you like where to dream and how to dream. It's not the picture, it's the picture frame around it. And one of the examples that they use in the film, stick with me, is that series of protests and riots that happened in London in like 2011 over the brutalization of a black man at the hands of the police. And people took to the streets to express their frustration, to buck the system, and basically say that we are tired of the system that allowed this to happen, right? But in doing so, a lot of people ended up looting, stealing things like TVs and PS5s, et cetera, understandable. And in the face of the systematic theft that they are being subjugated to every single day, it is also justified. But the narrator points out that in an attempt to buck the system, these folks are actually making the biggest affirmation of the system and all the ideologies that facilitated the brutalization of this man by trying to steal TVs and PS5s, et cetera. It's not the destruction that is wrong. The destruction is the absolute right instinct. But ultimately, the ideology is proving its steal in this moment because people are engaging in the purest form of consumerism, that is to say theft. Because like when you really boil capitalism down to what it is, if you play the game, the logical conclusion is like, all right, well, how can I cheat? How can I steal? These people are making offerings to the ideology. They are further stitching it into their mind. And so that's basically what he's arguing, right? Another example of that, a fictional example, is The Dark Knight, right? The Joker is engaging in all of these kind of like mind games with all of his counterparts. He steals all this money only to burn it. Whereas Batman has all of this anger and frustration about the system, about the world, about the city that took his family from him, his parents, etc., etc. But everything that he does is ultimately an affirmation of all of the things that facilitated that wrongdoing. All that to say, when the Joker lights that big ass pile of cash on fire and says it's not about the money, it's about sending a message, that is potent. And I know that the Dark Knight has a connotation because of the manosphere, etc., etc. That is a powerful scene. That is an actual rejection of an ideology. That is an actual rejection of an ideology. All that to say, and not to express any of my personal opinions about any of this online, right? Because I have no opinions, right? Is that in some ways, it is much more radical, hypothetically, for a store to be looted and the things to be destroyed than stolen. Hypothetically. That is an actual rejection. That is an actual deprogramming for those partaking in it and for those viewing it as well. And yeah.
Ain't nobody coming here. No cops are arresting you. They're not here to bad. They're here to arrest you.
Like, we're trying to get to work and you guys are in our way. How are you guys doing peaceful protest? This is not peaceful.
Yo, look. You gotta go past. I don't think you're gonna get past, bro.
Like, please, we're just trying to go to work. I have a whole kid. Like, I need to go.
No, I don't think. No, look this way. Look this way.
I don't think you're that's what I'm saying. If you guys move out the way and let the cars go, but I have a kid. If I go into work, there's opportunity. But what about my kid? I lose my job. Then what happens to my kid? But you can if you could just move out the way. How is this a peaceful protest if this is there's nothing peaceful? No, it's not. Yes, it is, man. Because you're
Yo, what's violent? Yo, look at this. Yo, look this way.
No, but look this way.
You won't look
this way. Yeah, I'm looking this way. I see it, but you guys are right here.
Yeah.
How do you know what white people feel about stopping a black woman from going to work?
Oh no, not work. I think it's gonna happen. I care so much.
So you don't care about stopping black people from going to work?
Look at this line that you guys are causing. I'm not causing no problems. I'm not trying to. We're just trying to leave. We're trying to go home.
I'm saying if you want to run all these people over, you gotta run me over first. That's what I'm here for.
My car is right there, and I got out of my car to try to ask you guys to move.
Yo, I'm so sorry. You picked the wrong route. Look at this. Yo, come on.
This is the issue.
It's not happening.
All right, so I want to try something out. I'm trying to see if TikTok pushes out videos that they know will be engaging or content that they know to be divisive. Is that the word? I don't know. And here is my call to action. I do not think that we're just going to graze over what the fuck been going on. We're not going to do that just for the sake of progression. I think that we need to talk about the things that have occurred, why they have occurred, and what we're going to do to make sure that they do not occur again. I'm not for the bullshit. Y'all not want to make it seem like on every continent around this motherfucker, even in Africa, that black people are not treated as second-class citizens. You're not going to tell me that. Black people don't have their own land, so anywhere they go, they're visitors. Well, I don't know. I'm starting to hear some new shit, and I like the way it sounds. This our shit. This is our shit. We the indigenous. I like that. I like the way that sounds. But, you know, I want everybody to think about this. I'm not telling y'all what the fuck to do, but just, you know, consider that history can be subjective. Like, if me and you see the same shit, I go write something down. You don't. They unalive your ass, and all they got is my accounts of what happened. It may be favorable for me. So I've been seeing a lot of... We're not even going to talk about it. Not right now. This is, like I said, this is a call to action to unify, or to at least start to strategize amongst those who want to on how it is that we can help one another. Again, when I say I will not be putting my black body in ways of other people to protect another group of people who historically have not put their bodies in front of other people for people who look like me. I'm not saying that I do not want to be, what you call it, an ally. When white people say they are allies, don't nobody give a fuck. Thank you for being here. They give them a rib and some potato salad. They don't say, well, why the fuck you not out there standing in front of me? I mean, black people don't. They thank you for your services and let you get the fuck on with the protest. So, yes, I am willing to, whatever the fuck I could do. Y'all see what I get into. I just run my motherfucking mouth. Really. That's all I do. I sit, look at shit, and talk about it. But if there is anything that I can do to put people together, seeing as though when I speak on shit and people don't like it, they like to talk. If there are any people that I can put in connection with other people to get shit done, I think that this is me saying I'll do that. But again, don't try to make it seem like there's a group of people who save black people. Fuck no. And when I speak on white people, I'm not negating the fact that there were some white people who participated in the liberation or the attempted liberation of black people in every stage of history. What I'm saying is, as a collective, motherfuckers didn't all just come to one morale and say, hey, this is wrong. And so I, along with the whites, along with the Arabs, along with the Asians, along with the Africans, I am saying that I will not lead with trust, because that would be stupid. What I am saying is, if you can prove to me that you are an ally or an asset, I appreciate it. But that does not mean that I, in turn, have to position my black body to be a human shield for what the fuck y'all got going on. Because if y'all understood racism in America as it stands today, you will understand that putting a black person in front or in between anybody in the police means that somebody is going to lose their life. So when y'all call for action, black people included, I need you to be very critical of what it is that you're asking black people to do. I need you to be very strategic in the words that you use when you're urging black people to fight for other people. Organize, yes. Strategize, yes. Speak up for, yes. But go out and fight? Fuck no. I don't know that. No. But I will. I can, if necessary, if need be, if y'all want me to, strategize. And I also think that we should remove the face from the fight. So if you want there to be a collective effort behind a cause, you need to make that cause favorable for everybody else. So instead of saying it's a fight against ICE, we need to be saying that it's a fight against the overuse of power within our government. We need to be saying that we're fighting against human captivity for profit. We need to be saying that we're fighting against the mistreatment of citizens. There should not be somebody headlining this motherfucking fight that look like Jennifer Lopez. Because then the people who do not look like that, the people who do not fit that bill, feel like they are not seen or they're not being fought for. I can tell you from the comments that there are people who feel like they are entitled to black people's efforts. And we know that when black people come, they coming. And we know that when black people come, they know how we coming. And we know how it is that they'll react. They've already been studying sociology, psychology. They know exactly how we respond due to the circumstances that we've had to respond to. The fashion in which we've had to navigate life in America. They know how we coming. They done conditioned us to be violent, right? I'm not saying that black people are violent inherently. I'm saying that black people have to be violent to navigate in America because America is inherently violent. And when you think of America, who the fuck do you think about? Oh, okay. What I'm saying is the cause needs to be, I think I said it, the cause needs to speak to everybody. So there's never room for a person to say it's not my cause. Because actually, when y'all say shit like it will be you next, it's a threat. And it shows me that you would prefer it to be me next. It tells me that you would prefer for me to be the focus point in whatever the fuck is going on. And black people can never be next because black people are always up. It's always our motherfucking time. When they are victimizing you, just know they are continuing to victimize us. This shit don't stop. And the real reason I said what I said, and I mean what I said, is because if anybody cared about black people as much as they say they do, if anybody stepped up for black people as much as they held up them whatever for BLM, which means nothing to me. I don't give a fuck about no motherfucking Black Lives Matter movement because that shit was token. Do you get what I'm saying? They sold it. I don't give a fuck about no motherfucking movement with no title on it because as soon as they can put a cent on it, it's gone. I don't give a fuck about none of that. Black lives obviously do not matter in America. To America. Because if they did, they would be pushing laws the way they do to protect the Asians. They would be pushing laws the way they do to protect the Jews. They will be pushing laws with our fucking names on it. African Americans, but we have yet to get that. Every law we get says civil. So that means that everybody benefits. And when I say what I say, I mean what I say. When black people get the liberation that they deserve, everybody else will benefit. So, this is just a critique, but it's also a call to action. If you want black people to be allies, position this fight so that it benefits us too. Because it can be mutually beneficial for everybody. Don't try to make it be just for you, so then you can say some shit like, you ain't never, y'all ain't never. Black people always. Always. And that's why I said, let this time be the time that we go back and think about some shit before we use our bodies as shields for other people's causes.
I have been in the protests that are happening in downtown Los Angeles against ICE every single day, and I'm here to clear up the air. One thing that I want to start off with is that we are not there to be violent. We are not there to cause harm or be aggressive. That is what the news is showing you of small, isolated incidents, but that does not show the 10 to 12 to 14 hours that people are there working their asses off every day, just walking, marching, and saying that this is a peaceful protest. I am going to include a clip of us talking to these people trying to loot a business and making them come out and put the door back that they broke into. We are not here to loot. We are not here to steal. We are here to take back. There is a huge, huge difference. So if you are planning on coming to any of these protests, be peaceful. If you have any beef or want to try to get physical with the police officer, take that up with the police officer yourself. If you have beef with the business, get the hell away from us because that is not what we are here to do. We are not here to smash windows. We are not here to break into businesses. But I'm going to show you guys a clip as someone who has been there every single day marching. The one incident that I ever saw of someone trying to loot and of everybody running over there to target those individuals and to get them out of the business that they just broke into. If this is what you guys really want, real, true, on the floor news, here it is. My videography was not the best in that. I'm sorry, because I am one of those people who at a protest, I try to keep an eye on every single thing around me. But I hope you guys could hear that lady screaming, leave that business place alone. What did the sushi place do to you? She was not the only one talking. It's hard to pick up because there's hundreds of people talking, walking, and stepping on stuff around us. But she was telling them to leave the place alone. And the people at the very front were having them walk out. They forced them to walk out. And after I stopped recording, because of course, once again, I don't know how much storage I have, and I needed to record for like the most important stuff. The people had those kids come out and put the door back up onto the business. This is what y'all are not seeing. The community is still trying to take care of these streets. The community is there for the right reasons. There are people running around with blood on their face like this saying, don't even litter on my land. This is not and never has been an aggravated protest on our side. What the news shows you and what you believe is different. If you want to know the real truth about these protests, stop hiding behind your screens, stop turning on the news, and show up. Show up and prove us wrong, please. Please prove us wrong. Please show that we are being violent, that we are causing all the problems, that we are showing signs of aggression, please. But until then, you don't get to speak on something that you were not there to witness.
They're saying the looters are black people, but when you go look up the video, they're not black people. They're your own people. They say we don't do the looting, no, we have nothing to do with the looting. That is all lies. Look up them videos. It's nothing but their own people. But y'all gonna try to say it's us? We good. We staying home. We know y'all narrative. We know what y'all try to say. I'm cool. Y'all was attacking me in that other video. Nah, bruh. Nah.
So look at this, y'all, and tell me where the black people at. Because they keep saying that it's black people taking over. It's black people that's trying to loot. And look at this. Somebody tell me, what does the 7-Eleven employees and staff have to do with ICE? Like, why are they trying to mess with them people establishment? Are they not minorities too? Like, what is the fight about at this point? That's crazy. It's a protest, but you're trying to bust down the 7-Eleven. That's crazy, y'all. Crazy. That's their livelihood. That's how they pay their bills. Are you trying to bust in there and tear it all down? Crazy. She gonna give him a high five. You've been working out, right?
I live in Texas, right? And you know what? I'm just like, all the stuff that's going on, I just sit back and smile because I saw this. I just want you to know that almost all of Texas blacks, a good percentage, we voted against it because I live in Texas. I saw what was happening. I knew what was coming. Let me tell you, here in Texas, the amount of racism I've ever even come close to experiencing from Mexicans, from Spanish people. When I was a dancer, when I was a stripper, every time I would go to the club, the way that the clubs were so racist, there was a time I went to a club out in Texas, what the fuck is it called? Damn. If I'm lying, there's strippers who will be in here. And the club told me that, oh, they don't hire girls like me. This is a club full of a bunch of, I would say, illegals, because I'm sure none of them spoke English. None of them spoke English, which I low-key think they was trapping out of there. They was pimping them girls out of there. And they said, oh, they don't take girls like us. We should go down to the club down the street, the black club. I just laugh because, let me tell you, karma is beautiful. Karma is beautiful. And you know what's funny? I went by that club a couple days ago. It's empty. It's empty. It's empty. Even though the racism applied to me, I still voted against all this shit. I voted against it. And guess what they did? Voted to hurt me.
Yeah, and all these motherfuckers who voted for fucking Trump and all these motherfuckers that want the immigrants gone, all these motherfuckers, where do they go on vacation? They literally go on vacation to Mexico, Cancun, Colombia, Venezuela, Puerto Rico, Puerto Vallarta. Yeah, all of your little famous white little influencers, your Caucasian friends, they voted for Trump, but they go to vacation on our land. They go take a break from their reality in our reality, in our land where we struggled for a better future. And nobody calls them fucking aliens or terrorists when they're on our land, right? But what do? We welcome them with open arms. Let them explore our land peacefully. They enjoy our beaches, our foods, our traditions. Videotape everything that goes on in our communities, in our country. Like we're exotic fucking animals to them. And yet we're fucking terrorists, aliens, criminals for living on stolen fucking land that isn't even theirs.
MAGA is already seizing on videos of people looting the Apple store in LA to discredit the protest. Let's talk about why that's a distraction tactic and what they don't want you paying attention to. First of all, let's be clear. Looting a store is not protesting. People stealing iPhones has nothing to do with standing up against ICE ripping families apart. But every time there's a protest for justice, someone shows up to loot. The media zooms in on that, not the message. Every time. It happened in 2020, and it's happening again in LA. And now MAGA folks are using it to say, see, this is why we need more police, and this is why we need ICE. This is what happens when you let people protest. But let me remind you what actually is happening right now. Black and brown immigrants are being targeted by ICE in the middle of the night. People are being detained without cause. Whole families are living in fear. And the protests are trying to stop that. Stealing from a store is a crime. But deporting someone to a country they fled for survival, that's state violence. And those two things are not the same. So don't fall for the bait. Don't let the looting become the headline. The protest is not the problem. ICE is. And they'd love for you to forget that.
So respectfully for the Black community, I have a question. So if Trump is trying to defund federal...
You know, I was trying to figure out what were you...
Mexicans, leave the Black community alone. They don't need to come to these gatherings in LA just so they can get locked up because people are actually rioting instead of protesting. It's just gonna add more fuel to the fire. They already have enough that they're going through on their own. The lady in the beginning of the video was saying that Black and brown need to come together and fight the orange man. But the other lady said, no, you haven't even reconciled your hatred towards us. As a Mexican American, I don't hate Black people. Y'all are cool as hell. We might have differences every now and then. But I like people on the basis of their character, not the color of their skin. No matter what race you are, maybe I won't like you because of the type of person that you are, but that's neither here nor there. Mexicans, let the Black people do what they do. They got their own shit going on. If you're out there peacefully, keep doing what you're doing. Make sure they don't tie you with these other crazy individuals because you will be going to prison after this is all said and done. Don't get the Black people involved in this because then it's going to get really bad. Then the violence is going to get really, really bad.
Hey y'all, hey, I need you guys to stop scrolling. Stop scrolling. Okay, yeah, you hear me? Y'all hear? Y'all listen? Okay, cool. Americans whose parents are not from this country. Americans whose parents are not from this country. I need you, Black, Spanish, or whatever the fuck, Italian. Look at the countries that the United States currently has a travel ban on. That is who they're coming after. It does not matter if you're Black, white, green. If there's a travel ban on your country, that's your home country, your native country, they're coming for you. Haitians, Jamaicans, all y'all out there that come from the Caribbean and West Africans like that, understand something. They're coming for you guys. Two. Okay? Two. ICE is not just coming for Hispanic people. They're coming for Black and brown people too. Okay? So don't think that you're safe. Look at the list of the list of American, look at the U.S. List of travel bans or country with travel bans on it. We can't go. Look.
Down south wasn't the only place that drove out black people from certain areas just because they were black. That happened in Los Angeles too. Boyle Heights. See, they bombed housing developments with black families in them. And if you don't know what a housing development is, it's basically the projects, a row of apartments all in a certain section. And they firebombed these apartments because of black families being there. Just simply race motivated, race driven. And not only black Americans, they did it to Afro Latinos. That's why I'm like, when Afro Latinos be fighting for their life to be Latino, they don't see you as Latino. They see you as black. And this is how heartless they are. They did this all on Mother's Day. On Mother's Day. And mind you, these people were not active gang members. These were people struggling, low income people. And you know who they replaced these people with, these black families with? Latino families. In certain sections of LA County, they're still like sundown towns. You can't be out there after dark if you black. And these erasure campaigns, black erasure campaigns, been going on since the 90s.
Black people in LA, mind your business. Black people in LA, mind your business. This don't got nothing to do with us. ICE and the National Guard being in LA has nothing to do with us. I don't understand rallying behind a whole bunch of people that hard ER you. They don't even like you, for real. Everybody want to make their problems our problems. It's tired. It's tired. This don't got nothing to do with us. Sit there, watch, look. Don't go out there. Go home. Go watch the NBA Finals. Go do something that's black related. Go have a cookout. Go do something black. Like, this don't got nothing to do with us.
As a white person, as a black person, as anyone, how?
So I was going to put this as a comment, but you already have thousands of comments on there, and I didn't think you would probably see it. So I decided I'm going to go ahead and stitch this for other people who have the same thought process as you. It's not that black people don't see this as a problem. We know it's a problem. We know it's an issue. We're just tired. We told you. We told you, and not you as specifically you. We told you as the country what is going to happen. We knew this was going to happen, and people still voted him into office. You don't need to talk to black people and ask black people where we are and why we aren't doing anything and why we aren't standing up, because black people have always been standing up. Black women have always been standing up. We're the ones that show up and show out every single time. We're the ones that when people go out to a party, that was the latest conversation. When people go to a party, they don't feel comfortable with a group of people around unless they see black people there, black women around. They tell their children, if you're in trouble, to go find a big black man because they know that person's going to help and take care of them. We know. We are tired of carrying everyone on our backs. That is what's going on. We are not standing up in the streets and protesting this because why? You say in that video, what if your family members were one day gone and you couldn't do anything about it? It happens to us on a daily basis. On a daily basis, our family members are getting slaughtered by police for nothing. Because of a black man getting killed by police, the largest Black Lives Matter movement in history around the world occurred because of black people. This is happening because of your people. Your people voted for him. Look at those numbers for who showed up and voted for Trump. Hispanics for Trump, Latinas for Trump. Those are the people who voted for him. We did our part. That is why you aren't seeing us in the street. It's not that we don't lack empathy or compassion. It's that we are tired. We have been there, done that. You also talk about how you are being hunted down and treated like animals. Let's not forget the pan-Atlantic slave trade that happened with black people. And once we were released from slavery, we were then used as experimentation for medical advancements.
we were treated like treated inhumane. We were treated like animals. That is why we are tired. And the generation of the people we have right now, like me talking, is because we are not our ancestors. We are not going to be repeating the exact same things that happened to us and allowing for you all to sit here and run us over. You guys did not do what you had to do to show up and show out and vote. I don't care. I don't know who you voted for. I don't care who you voted for. It's the Hispanic community as a whole. That's who you need to be talking to. You don't need to come over here and bring black people into it and why aren't black people and how could you not feel this way if you were white or black? Have empathy. Black people have empathy. We know, but we've been there and we're done that and we're tired. And so that's where we stand on this. And then on your first video, your part 1 video, you also said you just want to go back to how things were. You just wanted to go back to when there was peace. If you think that there was ever peace, that shows a privilege that you have. That is a privilege that you had as not being black in America, because there was never peace for us. Never. We could never walk into any workspace and feel 100% comfortable. We can never just walk outside our houses and feel 100% comfortable. We don't know what's going on. I'm 34 years old. As a child, I'm taught, if you get pulled over by a police, if you see police trying to pull you over, don't just pull off to the side of the road. Pull into a parking lot, a gas station where it's well lit, because you don't know who's going to pull you over. You don't know what that police officer is going to do to you. You don't know what that person at work is going to do to you. That is what we deal with on a daily basis. So no, we have empathy. We understand. But we're not going to go parade in the street anymore because that is somebody else's turn. And I hope that you hear what I'm saying and you take that in and you go and you talk to your people. You talk to other people about it. You guys go out in the street and you protest to get him impeached and to turn all of these things over that are happening with ICE, because that's not our job anymore. We are done. We are tired. I hope and I wish you well, but it's not our job.
So y'all want black folks to come and fight with y'all, come stand on the front line like we always have. But ain't this the same group that refuses to stop saying the N-word? This ain't the same group that was being racist in Zoe Spencer comments when she was going back and forth with that Hispanic creator? But now y'all want our help. Okay, interesting. Those were my initial thoughts, right? It's their war, let them deal with it. But that's an emotional response. Okay, that's pure bitterness, that's wrong. There's no sense of righteousness in that mindset. And even though it's not our fight, it is our fight. Okay, because today, it's Hispanics and Latinos. But the only reason why we not grouped up with them is because technically, legally, we were born here. Okay, he arresting them. That nigga trying to annihilate our whole community. And to those of y'all that's making an argument of, well, undocumented immigration is illegal. This what happen when you break the law anywhere. Bro, this nigga put out a quota. This nigga Trump put out a quota, meaning these officers are required to meet a certain number of arrests. Anytime you put a quota on something, bruh, it's bound for you to run into some outlawed, unlawful shit. You forcing the issue. This nigga dropping 2,000 National Guardsmen to arrest these folks, tear these people away from their families. Nigga, Flint, Michigan still ain't even got clean water. Motherfucking elementary schools, middle schools, high schools getting shot up. And this is what we prioritizing. If you don't see nothing wrong with that, bro, you just as fucked up. So to my black folks, it is our fight. Okay, we can't adopt the same mindset as our oppressors. All right, they want us to divide. That way it's easier to take us out. Cause today, it's Hispanic and Latinos. But that motherfucker in the White House, he don't look at us no differently. He itching to get us up out of here. It's only a matter of time. All right, we gotta be a part of the change that we want to see.
So I'm sitting here watching about the ICE raids, right? And let me say this. If you are an African American, this is for you. Don't get in that. The strategy is beginning with different ethnicities, okay? But what they want us to do is they want us to jump in because they want a reason to put our butts in jail. Be careful about, you're supposed to help your brother. Yes, you are. Pray. Do not get out there in those streets acting like you the next, what they call a martyr, because you will be. Stay in the house.
All right, this message is for my brown people. And although us black folks decided to sit this one out because we did try to warn y'all at the polls, we do see that it's fucked up. California is a blue state. 66% of Latinos in California voted against Trump, but it's not enough. You got to work on your people that hate us. Then you got to rally your people because they hate you like they hate us. And don't tell me this is not about race. There's over 500,000 undocumented immigrants in America from Poland or Russia or Germany, the UK, Italy, Ireland, all over Eastern Europe. But they not joining the protest because they not being targeted. America has always been obsessed with race. You burglarize and steal someone's home, make laws that only protect you, then get upset when they want to move back in. Talking about, we need to protect our borders. Most of you never even met a Mexican American, and if you have, they're probably doing a job that you would never want to do anyway. These ain't criminals. They're snatching up students and nurses and builders and farmers, electricians and plumbers. They got fucking armored vehicles pulling up on line cooks. You're separating mothers from their children and telling people who've been here for decades to just go and start a life somewhere else because you're uncomfortable. In their land. You just took their shit and was even too lazy to change the names. It's still San Francisco, San Diego, San Bernardino, Ventura, Calabasas, Rancho Cucamonga. But it's all in the name of law, right? Well, hanging people was law. Owning people was law. Segregation was law. Jim Crow, mass incarceration, redlining, stop and frisk, law. Just because it's written don't make it right. You know Adolf had laws too. It's funny how you want people to follow the rules when they only benefit you. So let me get this straight. A man who was found guilty of committing 34 felonies is turning our troops against people who committed a civil violation. Being undocumented is a civil violation, not a felony. So who you put in office is far worse than any of these folks out here just trying to build a life in America. But y'all let him slide because he's white. I'm here in LA and not a single person died during these protests. 5 people died when they stormed the Capitol and those thugs were pardoned. Can you imagine if black and brown people stormed the Capitol? We wouldn't make it onto the fucking lawn before we got slaughtered. You naggers are all savages. You're tearing up property. Are you telling me that an insured Apple store or Louis Vuitton store is more important than the historic Capitol building of the United States? At least when black and brown people riot, it's for survival or civil rights. White America will burn a whole city down because their team won the World Series. So to all my brown brothers and sisters, coming from a people who's been fighting on the front lines for over 400 years, sacrificing our bodies so that Muslims and Asians and Africans and Indians and brown people can live a comfortable life in America, please realize that we are tired. A bit of advice. There is not a word that you can say to make those racists feel compassion because they do not view you as their equal. So keep protesting and going as hard as you can. And to the colonizers who agree with Mr. Trump, let me ask you a question. If all of your land is stolen and someone told you to go home, where would you go?
You're running us over, you're shooting us, all because of the color of our skin. All because we have culture, we brought it here, and we are who we are.
Bitch, what color you is? I see a Mexican flag in the back. I'm thinking your ass black or mixed. You Mexican. Bitch, who's shooting y'all? The last time I checked, y'all voted for Trump. Now y'all want our help? When shit go down in the white folk community, y'all ass ain't there. When shit go down in the black community, y'all ass ain't there. Bitch, what the hell you want us to do? We stand out of y'all shit, how y'all stay out of our shit. All all I can say is accountability, baby. Accountability. This what we working on TikTok. This what we working on in this world. Accountability. Blame y'all damn self. Only thing I gotta say is, I just want to know one thing. How y'all goddamn Mexicans get $13,000 worth of food stamps? Because I'm trying to see what the hell y'all be doing to get that shit. If you can tell me that, I promise you we'll be a march with y'all. Because I ain't gonna lie, the price of food is too goddamn high.
I came across this video and this content creator is asking, why hasn't anyone asked the Asian community for help? Let's watch her video and then I will help answer her question.
I seen someone ask this question and it got me to thinking, you're right. Why haven't the Latin community called on the Asians that's in California to go out and march and help? Why is the call of action only to Black people? I just really want to know, because they call themselves the model minority. So they supposed to be smarter, more educated. This is all per them. Why haven't y'all called on the Asians?
So since I'm an Asian American residing in the state of California, I think I can best answer this question. We, the model minority, as you state, the more educated one is always the more sensible one. We have been taught to learn common sense. We don't follow anybody. We were taught by our parents to think for ourselves. Now, I'm going to tell you more, but let me hand it over to my mother and she can explain to you in her native tongue why there hasn't been a call for action. នាងឯងអត់មានមកហៅកូនអាស៊ីធ្វើរបស់អញ្ចឹងទេកូនអាស៊ីយើងគេខំចិញ្ចឹមកូនគេតាំងពីទូចដល់ធំប៉ុណ្ណេះគេឲ្យកូនគេមករៀនសូត្ររលុយរស៊ីឲ្យមានអត់មានមកធ្វើអ្វីខុសច្បាប់ទេគេបញ្ជូនកូនគេមកស្រុកអាមេរិកគេបញ្ជូនឲ្យកូនគេមករៀនឲ្យដឹងទំនៀមទម្លាប់រស៊ីមានបានរទិញផ្ទះទិញឡានអត់មានមកធ្វើអ្វីណាខុសច្បាប់កុំឲ្យជាប់គុកជាប់ទេម៉ែឪនាងឯងអត់មានចេះបដៅនាងឯងទេយីកុំមកហៅកូនគេមកធ្វើអញ្ចឹងកូនគេមិនទៅជាសដូចភូមិហងឯងទេ Let me know if you need translation. I'll put it in the next video.
I think it's funny how everybody's true colors are coming out, especially the Black people.
A few moments later.
Oh, and since you want to learn Spanish so bad, tú eres una puta gorda que aparte de negra eres naca.
And it only took you 3 seconds flat for you to show your true colors after coming on this app and being a beggar, begging for help from the Black community. If you're going to call someone a fat Black, WHO, don't cower behind a coded language. Say it to their face.
The Black people, because y'all are quick to forget what country you guys flee to shelter when you were slaves. You're quick to forget when Black Lives Matters movement was happening, who was right there next to y'all.
I can guarantee that it wasn't you, boo-boo. Most of y'all like to parrot this one talking point about Mexico, but never talk about how slavery was abolished by a Black indigenous president named Vicente Guerrero. He also helped liberate Mexico from Spain, but what did more conservative Mexicans do to their Black indigenous president after they were done using him to gain liberation? They executed him because he was pushing for Afro-Indigenous equality. After Mexicans used him to gain their liberation, they backstabbed him, and it tracks to this day. Ma'am, the easiest, most effective thing that you can do to protect yourself and preserve your rights is to vote, and the Latino community couldn't even do that. Latinos largely voted for your own oppression, and now you have the audacity to think the Black community is obligated to help you fix what you broke. Latinos, the call...
We traced the call. It's coming from inside the house. You hear me? It's coming from inside the house.
Fix your own house, Latinos.
I cannot be the only one thinking this. So you guys know how the whole how Los Angeles is going through the immigration thing where ICE is popping up and just taking, you know, children and families and everything. And we kind of already knew this was going to happen to a certain extent. I thought it would happen with like criminals and people that are in gangs and people that were not doing good things for this country, not literally hardworking people.
But that's not the point. The point is that I remember back in the day when the whole Black Lives Matter movement was going on, and I supported it. I spoke up about it. I posted something about it, and I said something, right? Even though I'm not African American, honestly, why would I care? Because it is still something that's going on, and I did feel like it was unfair, and something should, be said. I know people are going to protest. I mean, could I have done more? Of course, but at the time, I did not. But at least I did speak up about it. What bothers me right now is that, like, a lot of celebrities or people, maybe influencers that we listen to, no one's saying anything. And I guess everybody has their own thoughts and opinions, and I completely respect that. I just feel like whenever they're discriminating against the other minorities, I'm gonna be quiet and I'm not gonna say anything, because where were you guys at right now? Like I said, I'm not African American. I didn't have to say anything. I didn't have to post about it. I didn't have to bring awareness to the subject, but I did, okay? Because it was still unfair, or at least I saw it as like police brutality. Like, what the heck is going on? And the reason why all these protests are going on as well is to bring awareness, to kind of say, hey, this is not fair. That's how change happens, right? But I just right now, like, going online and listening to some people's thoughts, and they're like, take them all away, deport them all. It's like, how could you be so insensitive? Like I said, I completely agree for deporting criminals and people that are actually doing harm to other people. But to innocent families, perhaps not. I do get that they broke the law. And I'm kind of, it's just the way that it's being done that it's just like, wow. I just kind of can't believe what's going on right now.
Talking about some black people, why you not helping us? You crazy as hell. Because last time I checked, every time we went through something, we went through that bitch our damn selves. Slavery, where the fuck y'all was at? Last time I checked, we freed our damn selves. Yeah, that's right. Slavery ended because the war down here in Florida with a group called the Florida Seminole Wars that was black runaways, Native Americans, and black aboriginals giving Andrew Jackson and the boys hell for 8 years straight. And we ain't asked nah nigga for help. How about Jim Crow? Last time I checked, y'all didn't ride for Emmett Till. Where the fuck you was at? What about redlining? What about the fight for reparation? Where the fuck you at? What Future say? Where the fuck you at when a nigga really needs you? Where the fuck you at when a... And we not finna sit here and start acting like y'all fuck with niggas for real. And this goes for you legals, illegals, Mexicans, Caribbeans, Africans, whatever the fuck y'all wanna call yourselves. The only reason white people let y'all in this country legally, for the legal ones, is because they knew you would conform to white supremacy as an economic refugee. Right. So you didn't come here to help a nigga. You didn't come here to support a nigga. You came here for opportunity and benefits. Because in America, there's only two ideologies. Either your ass is pro-black or you conform to white supremacy. And you niggas been conforming to white supremacy. So a nigga don't feel sorry for you no kind of way. Come get y'all. Listen. If it's too hot, get the fuck out the kitchen. If you ain't no dog for real, get the fuck out the pen.
How come none of these Latino celebrities ain't speaking up on what's going on? Wasn't J-Lo viral like last week? She got a big platform and she got nothing to lose. So either or, she ain't losing nothing. She's already washed. And let's not talk about Bad Bunny. That's like y'all version of Michael Jackson. In the Latino community, y'all talk about that dude like a god. And he ain't even saying nothing about what's going on. Bad Bunny. And you know why? Because Bad Bunny Puerto Rican. Just like J-Lo is Puerto Rican. They can't get deported. Don't tell me y'all didn't learn that in school, that Puerto Ricans can't get deported. Just like black Americans. But y'all always out there wanting black people to be your guard dogs. You're always out there wanting black people to be your human shields. And you know what? Your own kind don't even protect you. Jennifer, not J-Lo, Jennifer, the governor of Puerto Rico, right now as we speak, she turning all the information of undocumented immigrants over to the Trump administration. The Mino Black Dominicans, y'all about to pack y'all bags and leave Puerto Rico. But anyway, shout out to Bad Bunny of Puerto Rico. Yeah, that used to be the cut of Puerto Rico. One more thing. This is Jennifer, the governor of Puerto Rico. You think she's going to miss some meals over some Dominicans? She turning that information over ASAP Rocky.
When in doubt, point the blacks out. When in doubt, point the blacks out. That Mexican lady got on TV and said that it was the black people who were rioting and looting. The black people who came out there to help them protest. Said it was the black people who were rioting and looting. They were being peaceful. First of all, I thought everyone got the memo that this was not our battle. This is not our fight, it is yours. And we were sitting at home, minding our business, with our boots on the ground, practicing our line dances for the summertime fine. And she got up there and said that it was us rioting and looting. This is why you were supposed to keep your ass in the house. Because if you was in the house and it was none of us out there, they could not point the finger at us. So whoever hard-headed self is out there, get your ass back in the house, because we know it wasn't you. But now you out there and they can point at you. Get your ass in the house, oh hard-headed ass.
Latinos are inherently racist. I can't believe I'm having this conversation again, but I just seen a video of a Cuban girl who is, might I add, white passing as all hell. And yes, I said Cuban, so it's pretty self-explanatory as to why she thinks the way she does, because Cubans are one of the worst. And this is coming from a Latina, so I'm gonna yap and talk my shit, okay? The fact that she thought it was cool to literally broadcast that she says the N-word and she doesn't see the issue with it and that you guys are just crybabies is absolutely insane. Girl, you literally will never understand, because the color of your skin lets you into places and spaces that make you feel comfortable. You literally have found proximity to white people, and in that proximity, you became weird. But need I remind people yet again, proximity does not equal whiteness. At the end of every single day, you are still a Latina, even if it doesn't really show. And at the end of every day, they think they should deport you. But you feel like because you came here legally, like, let's not use that word too loosely, that you're one of the privileged ones. When on any given day, a Caucasian person wouldn't be able to tell the difference between you and a Mexican, a Puerto Rican, a Ecuadorian, whatever have you. We are one and the same. But you found this new proximity that makes you feel like you are not. And it's honestly just gross. It's really, really gross. And doing it for clicks and views and just being an overall moron in your stance is just weird. But once again, Cuban from Florida. Do I need to say more?
My black brothers and sisters out there that are the ones that are posting all this, oh, we just gonna mind our business. And I saw somebody earlier making t-shirts of like a group of like 6 black people, black men and women sitting on a bench texting on phones while the country is burning up behind them. Let me explain something to you guys.
What?
Let me explain something to you. When they get done with the brown people, they'll be coming after you. And if you don't think that's true, you got another motherfucking thing coming.
First of all, we were first. We were first. They never stopped coming for us. Ever. You don't know what it's like because you seem to be a clear guy, a Caucasian guy underneath that stupid poo shiesty mask. You don't know what it's like to live in skin like this. They never stop coming for you. When you walk outside, when you go into an establishment, if you get pulled over for a traffic stop, they never stopped. After slavery was abolished, we had Jim Crow. They never stopped. It's just always repurposed and repackaged, but they've never stopped coming for us. They've just never came for any other group of people the way that they're coming for the Hispanics. And why y'all keep making it seem like Hispanics are the only immigrants? And another reason why we need to sit our black asses down is because they're blaming us for the looting and the riots when we see mad videos clear as day that it is the Latinos. They are the ones throwing rocks, bashing out the windows of the police cars, looting the stores, and yet they're blaming us. They want to use us as shields, and they want to use us to scapegoat us. We need to stay in the house and mind our business. This is not even a civil rights or a human rights issue. This is about illegal immigration. And Latinos and Hispanics are not the only immigrants. But they getting their funky asses on the news saying that it's the blacks. And they're in everybody's comment section saying that it's the blacks that's looting and rioting, when we all see clear as day that it's the Hispanics and the Latino community. And majority of us are home. So who's really doing it? But you see how they scapegoating us. The anti-blackness reeks. Why should we continuously align ourselves or help people that clearly don't like us based on our hue of complexion? What y'all think about this? Spread love is the Brooklyn way. They're going to come for you next. They've been coming for us. They never stopped. We always fight back. Period. And we're not immigrants. I don't know why y'all keep trying to make it seem like we're immigrants. We've been here since the inception of this country. The more you know.
Black people, what makes you think that Mexicans are going to come running to y'all for help? What for? Y'all black people can't even help yourselves.
Probably the only race that was literally pushing to save every single other demographic who is not white. And
man, I had to edit this video because I was cussing so much. I was cussing my behind off, and not because of what the Mexican dude was saying, but because of this brother. Bruh, since when do we need to explain ourselves to anybody, bro? What? I mean, when we was going through our stuff, where were they? And if there was something, nobody felt the need, no Latino felt the need to explain themselves why they were not there in large numbers. They felt no pressure whatsoever to come out and explain that they are allies. But we did notice how they tried to take that B in Black Lives Matter and turn it into B Brown Lives Matter. I remember that. I think we didn't notice that. But, bruh, how many Latino people do you see protesting here? None. How many of them came on the internet explaining why they wasn't there? Or explaining that they're really our ally? How many? None. So why are we explaining ourselves? The only thing we need to do is go get our popcorn. That's it.
So I heard a word on TikTok today and it hit me good. They said, black people are always everyone's emotional bank that people want to withdraw from but don't want to deposit into. And I tell you what, that is a word. That is a whole word, because since the beginning of the year, when we said we were on break, that we're not getting involved in any shenanigans, ever since then, y'all have been putting the black signal up in the sky trying to get our attention. Listen here. We are on hiatus.
And black people don't go to them protests. Even if you are an immigrant, even if you have family members that are immigrants, don't go to them protests. Because now we have non-black Hispanics and Latinos blaming black people strictly for the looting that's going on in LA. Did y'all call on us for help so that y'all could try to make it seem like we was the problem?
During the BLM protests in Chicago, who did the Latinos help? So Latinos was targeting black Americans in Chicago, throwing rocks at their cars, setting their cars on fire. You see this? They didn't help the black Americans. They were helping the police. They were helping the police. And an argument would be like, well, the black people was looting and rioting, so was the Latinos. But they targeted black people that had nothing to do with the protests at all, just riding through those neighborhoods or those areas. You have people on social media sending out videos. Black people, stay out of Cicero. Black people, be careful in Little Village. And mind you, ultimately, this was a protest against police brutality. And while all this was going on, Latinos are unalived at a 6 times higher rate than their white counterparts, and they still decide to side with the police. And not even a year later, Adam Toledo, a Latino kid, one of their very own in Little Village, was unalived by the police with his hands up. So when it comes to that quote, an enemy of my enemy is a friend of mine, it's not necessarily true.